Game number 1, ladies. Semi-final at the HeroesHype Premier Series. Nothing changed against Washed France. So, yeah, Washed France with a little bit of a different setup from the good old Washed Up lineup, and nothing changed. If you watched the last cup, is the Polish team known as the Leftovers, known as Nothing Left, known as Gregorz, whatever, and known as, like, I think Nautilus support at some point, and at some point I just said, okay, I've had enough, I'm gonna call you Nothing Change, because nothing ever changes with your lineup, except for maybe a sub. So we have Potibos on ETC for the blue team, DAB on Tracer, Mopsy on Johanna, Linked on Malfurion, and Blickidney on Chromie. Whereas the red team starts with Banana H on Deckard, Masquerade and Tyrael, Hazoops on Hammer, ooh, it's Hammer time again, Nick on Hanzo, and Ixia on Rexa. Alrighty, so Hazu got his Hammer, which is surprising, since most of the time he actually gets shut down on the Hammer pick very early. And again, also the little caveat here, this is cast from replays, as you might have already noticed, since there is no draft. Reason for that is fairly simple. The semifinals were played at the exact same time, so I had to make a choice which one I would cast live. That's exactly what I did. And still, I would love to bring you guys all the coverage, and that's what right now we're going into those replays, just to make sure that you have a glimpse at the second semifinal as well. But it comes with that little thing that we don't have a draft for that. So okay, let's see how this is going to work out. Game number 1 in the best of 3 here. Obviously, the winner of this would move on to meet Granite Gaming in the finals. DAB once again on Tracer. And every single time I see DAB on Tracer, I'm actually getting... It just reminds me of DAB playing Tracer for the first time at a LAN event, where he finally had a proper monitor with, I think, 120 Hertz. I don't even know what exactly he played on that day. But it turns out that DAB had an absolute garbage monitor back at home, and for him playing Tracer on this was an absolutely new experience. That happened to several players, actually. We had a similar setup once with Zelia on Tracer when he played it. I think that was at Gamescom in Germany in 2000 and something. So it was actually pretty cool, because every single time Zelia played the hero, he had just this glow of happiness in his eyes, and it was like, Khaldor, there's zero delay here. Yeah, and he continued to murder the first 2 teams that let Tracer through against him, to an extent that everybody else for the rest of the tournament banned Tracer against him, which made him a little bit unhappy. But yeah, so a lot of Tracer players have really bad equipment apparently, and then shine on LAN. To my knowledge, everybody on the team told DAB then afterwards that once that he gets home, he needs to buy himself a new monitor from the prize money, so that he can actually check that out a little bit more. But as that stands, we have a little bit of a poke battle here in the game, and obviously there's a lot of attention not only on Tracer, but also Chromie, who again went straight into the once again the first time. And on top of that, the chronic conditions. Now, some argue that Chromie herself is a chronic condition, and that somehow, well, honestly, if there's a vaccine against Chromie, even the Americans are going to use it. But at this point, we haven't really found one. But yeah, she is a chronic condition. That chronicle poke is quite annoying, and Chromie is going to try and put that to the test, and Blickidney is going to attempt to get a couple of shots in. But as it stands, we're still having Hazu on the other side, which is probably what triggered the Chromie pick, to be honest with you. But Hazu is still extremely good with that hammer, and has now played that multiple times in the past, and normally it really gets banned out against him, because the playstyle around hammer and against hammer is super annoying, and most people respect that. Now, Ixia probably subbing in here today. I'm not 100% certain though. But let's see what we're gonna have from the Rexa pick. I mean, it's kind of cool that in 2019 Rexa gets picked that much. But there's the defensive position for Hazu and the boys. Actually, in this case, it's nothing changed when it goes for the defense. But Hammer already in a great spot over here, so Hazoops is having quite a lot of fun poking that down. But they might lose it after all, because let's face it, nothing changed. There's a pretty good lineup to raise the 2. And oh my god, 770 hit points left. That is a tiny shield that we're looking at right now for the players here, but it's still nothing changed. Who wins the battle, and therefore Immortal number 1, and can now use it to break through the top. And if you have the Chromie support, It's obviously going to be an endless amount of poke that's going to happen with that. But an Immortal without big shield should really, in the early stage, not really do too much. Already the position of Hammer sniffed out, though, thanks to the shield glare that we just saw from Mopsio. Not only is that, of course, fantastic for blind against Hammer, but at the same time, Chromie can take aim and finally knows where she has to target all those spells to. And they're doing well. Oh, Hanzo even taken down. Damn, son. Additional level for them, too. Hanzo under attack. DAB a little bit too far in. Needs to be really careful with that recall. That could have been a problem. But we also still have Masquerade on Tyrael being highly aggressive here at the front. And the fort hasn't taken a lot of damage. As I said, you go up against the Hammer. The Immortal doesn't have a lot of shields. So at least with the first objective, there's not a whole lot that could be done by Nothing Changed. They get the wall broken through, but they can't even take the fountain down. So that's another setup here. That being said, still the attack straight for the camp, and Tyrael is taking in. Masquerade needs to be careful though, and well, he wasn't, so now he is a dead Tyrael. That's the second kill in the game. The explosion gets a lot of damage onto Link, but not enough, and now it's Hammer time! But the siege tactics is just a little bit too strong, and with good timing, he's able to grab that. Mopsio nearly dying, but survives. ETC comes in from the off lane now too. 40 boss later, probably, with a stage dive. As the offlane ETC, that's the normal talents it takes, that you can global in while you're still able to control the macro game. But there's a lot of pressure. I mean, Nothing Changed. There's still a lineup that is pretty much unchanged for the longest time now. And it definitely shows. I mean, these guys are just successful with what they're playing. It's a well-oiled machine. And they have been doing extremely well over the course of 2019. Despite the fact that they weren't quite able to take Granite Gaming and Washed Up in their heydays down. Granite Gaming in particular is obviously still a big contender. But Washed France is a bit of an easier lineup right now. Especially with Mena focusing more heavily onto a World of Warcraft Classic right now. And putting a lot of time and effort into that game. That's obviously a big staple on the damage that is now absent from the team here. Another kill against Hanzo, who is having a tough time. Chromie is getting some poke damage in, and then there's always DAB, who just lusts for these opportunities when he come jump in with Tracer and get the quick kill. But they're still fighting for it, and Hazop's getting a little bit closer to the action with a nice attempt against Link here. Gets sound damage in, but by no means enough to really force something here. The problem for them is the level 10 ability. Nothing Changed is gonna get it any moment now, and that is just a big problem. I mean, there's very little that they can do with that. Because right now, once level 10 is in, we will see more and more aggression from Nothing Changed against that lineup, and there's an entire level until Washed France finally has their own setup. So they're just in a defensive position to hold that for as long as possible, but level 10 is here, and that gives us the Blessed Shield now, which could trigger an attack. DAB, on the other hand, needs to be a bit careful. Tranquility is also now ready, and ETC hasn't made a choice yet. There are interrupts on the other side, and there's also, of course, Tyrael, who could use Sanctification to counteract the Mosh Pit to some extent. Explosion against Tyrael. Here comes the stage dive, but Nick jumps out. Nicely done. This time he doesn't get fooled here. Previously he was under a lot of pressure from Nothing Changed, but this time he has a chance to jump on it. Talking about jumping on opportunities and things, with the heavy aggression now against the Immortal, it looks like Nothing Changed is going to get another one. And this one is going to be a lot more powerful than what we've seen previously, if they can actually secure it. Well, Misha is down, so little doggy is already eliminated. They're trying to go for the play again, and they nearly get the kill in. But level 10 is actually starting to get a little bit closer for Washed France. I'm honestly wondering if they're able to just turn this around after all, since they're going to grab their heroic abilities now. And that's a bit of a game changer for them. I mean, they have a lot of abilities that can really help them here. I mean, first of all, there's obviously a little bit more burst potential once that Hammer has the BFG. But that's not the only thing. The stun coming through, and even a Tornado for potential isolation here. In this case, we actually have the poke. The Napalm strikes. They're not trying to secure kills with the BFG, which we oftentimes see when combined with Hanzo and the arrows setup, but instead just trying to get more poke value and siege value here. Mortals are still getting attacked. There's still a lot of range damage, obviously. but both of the teams are not willing to give this up yet. It's actually a fun one, considering that there was an entire level lead around 10, nothing changed, has won the halftime show, has done good damage, but they're by no means guaranteed to get the Immortal. They're likely to win it, but I am impressed by how much Washed France was able to move in and take down hit points on the opponent's Immortal after all. Now they're trying to go for ETC here. Immortal still getting attacked. Bleak Kidney looking for another opportunity, gets 2 shots in. Yeah, and they're gonna poke that down slowly and steadily. Arrow, long distance. Misha with a stun. The Boars unleashed too. But they just can't get anything done. At least it doesn't seem like it. Tranquility comes out. There's the Blessed Shield. Uh-oh. Stage dive into the back. DAB is a little bit low. And just barely the Sanctification saving the red team as they are about to go down. Bleak Kidney is running out of experience. Out of mana. And Mopsio is just saying, okay, screw this. I'll do this myself. At least he tries to. Comes in, gets the Condemned through, they win it. Are they gonna lose some heroes here though? That's the question. They're playing around Hammer so well, this is actually incredible. Mopsio goes down, finally a kill. It's a double kill even for Washed France. They've been waiting for those kills for a long time right now. And yep, that was a little bit incredible. I mean, at this point, we're having still the Immortal moving through the bot lane, but with 2 heroes missing, nothing changed, can't really too much. Now especially Hanzo is trying to murder that thing, so Nick currently on the heroes doing his best. Especially now that DAB is dead, he has a little bit more wiggle room here. So that's not a big problem for him, because so far that was the main cause of his deaths whenever Tracer made the move into the backline. When it comes to the damage output, I mean, Tracer sitting at 33,000, actually ahead of Chromie even, which is kind of respectable. Normally Chromie is really high on the damage numbers, but I guess now that the level 1 quest is completed, Bleak Kidney is going to be able to add more damage to the mix. Hanzo and Hammer are not looking too bad either, and even in experience it's fairly even. And I mean, just look at the map. We had 2 Immortals, we don't have a single fort that was taken out yet. So yeah, well done with that too. Still a couple of additional shots coming on. The Gnome speed ahead. Finally proving once and for all that Chromie indeed is a sand gnome and not a dragon. I mean, that thing doesn't look like a dragon. You can give one of your abilities names all day long, but that's a gnome if I've ever seen one. I mean, like, the signs are all there. And this one confirms it. Alright, so with that, we're having a little bit more movement speed for 2. So Bleak Kidney is just zipping around. It's a fast gnome. It's a rare tribe of the fast gnomes here. And the poke is in. 13 on both sides, still the pressure. And Hazu on Hammer is just trying to get close enough. Arrow, ooh, that one got dodged. And is flying straight over to North America. But yeah, be it as it may, with this set, we're still having Nick trying to poke as much as he can. The target is oftentimes the Chromie, but the range is obviously another issue. Honestly, with the level 4 title on Rexa nearly completed, that is going to help Rexa and Misha a lot to get the additional damage out if they can go a little bit deeper, thanks to all the armor that they have and the extra sustain that this is going to bring them. But we have more and more an aggression from Nothing Changed. They are heavily aggressive around that, and again the focus onto Nick. He's jumping out, well done by him, but that fight isn't over by any means. Siege tactics to counter the temporal loop. And again, linked in the backline with the Tranquility, trying to keep Polyboss alive as Bleak Kidney is just firing away on Chromie. Machine gun time here from the Sand Gnome. And once again, the poke from Washed France. This time they might actually have a chance to race this down a little bit quicker. On the other side, we're obviously seeing the action coming through too, but it seems like at least for now, Washed France is going to take a slight lead heading into the halftime show. It's a tiny one though. I mean, let's face it, 200 difference here, that is nothing, honestly. 16 is also in, the Shifting Sands for the Chromester. And they're going for the long distance poke. In an ideal world, Washed France is going to look for a kill here, but I'm not quite sure if they can actually play that off right now. Mopsio is already lurking around at the side, looking for an opportunity to get kills in by himself. Or at least set something up for the rest of the team, and they're trying to do it right here, and they get it! Hanzo is dead again! Nick is getting destroyed by Tracer. Great job by DAB here, stage dive in, and a second kill against Rexa. Misha commits Sudoku because without Rexa she doesn't want to live anymore. And Sergeant Hammer gets caught as well. Masquerade and Banana H, the only ones to get away here. Well, actually, Might be that Banana Age is the only one to get out of this one, and that's the case. Link, nice. Nice attempt, Link. Nicely done. Tranquility being used as he says, like, maybe. But no, dude, sorry. But that Tyrael kill was just a little bit too much. So Tyrael gets the damage in. And with this, we're now having the action right there. Nicely done. Bot lane gets attacked. That's a bigger Immortal than we previously seen. Bot lane Ford is already taken down. And all the way up at the top, we're having the Immortal pushing through for Ford number 2. They've done it. Nothing changed. Has taken a significant lead now. The entire time, it was honestly a little bit... I mean, it was pretty much even. There was subtle differences between the two of them, but now with the 4 kills against 0 that just got in with the Immortal, the 2 forts destroyed, they've taken a very, very big lead right now. And they even get the Immortal towards the keep. I mean, it's not going to take the keep down, but they are breaking the entire wall open, and that's all that you really need there. And with that, we're having them in control of the game. There will still be even talent fights once that the next Immortal spawns, just simply because Washed France is so close to getting their own level 16 talent, but the signs are still currently pointing towards nothing changed, having a big lead here. And it's actually interesting, because when you look at the damage output, Hammer is sitting at 42,000, Hanzo with 38k is shortly behind, but especially Hanzo is just struggling against Tracer. I mean, the entire time, Tracer's hunting him down time and time again. So up at the top, they're just trying to anchor the play here. I honestly wonder if it might have been a little bit better for Hazo to go into the BFG. I mean, obviously the reasons why he would go into the Napalm are pretty obvious. It allows you really to poke, you have additional wave clear, and especially when you're going for zone control and trying to slowly poke the Immortal down, it really helps. But in the past, we've seen Hazo a lot with BFG too, and the idea behind that was normally that you're trying to get a quick kill in. But so far, that hasn't really happened for them. Only 3 in the game. Ooh, big Sanctification. Nicely done. Lulnado isolates ETC, and that's a kill. The cow is down. All right, the Sergeant is dropping the hammer after all and gets the kill in. Oh, but the counter aggression is there. Trying to get at least something done. Takes the wave down. And Misha is dead now too. What started as a great fight for Washed France might still turn against them. It's 16 versus 16 talents at least. And that gives us Giant Killer, so the front line is in a bit more trouble when for nothing changed. But the aggression is there. Immortal spawning in another 10 seconds. Already the pokey-poke battle here between the two. But Linked still in half HP. They need to be careful. And Mopsio is down. Alright, a little bit too greedy. Johanna not able to do anything here. Fountain in the middle is still active, and therefore they just tap and go. Let's go, boys! And double check that out. What can they do with us? Right now, they should be able to at least win the halftime show. It's a 5 versus 4 in their favor. They have even talents with their opponent. If they can get a kill to stagger some deaths, that would obviously be the ideal scenario. But even outside of that, they should be able to do a lot here. Romy completing her build now with a full focus into the Sandblast, pretty much. Getting the Pierce now in too. Damage output, of course. Oh, that's a potential. Oh, nice! The Lulnado! The problem is that it's even better against ETC because he can't read. He's overwhelmed by all of this. I mean, again, for some people it's already a problem when they just get confronted with a single book. They're like, is this on Netflix? And ETC in particular has massive issues here. The guy can't read, so the Lulnado is just taking him down. He cares about as much for lore as I do. But with that now we have another staggered death, and that means that they might win this objective after all. 53,000 damage for Hammer, 51,000. Chromie on 60k, so she's currently top damage in the entire game. But let's see. There we go. They're starting to jump in again against the Immortal. Where's ETC when you need him? Yeah, not there. Oh, can they get that one? Yeah, doesn't seem like it. 6 kills against 8. Nothing changed. Just defending well. But they should be losing this one. Oh, good. Bless Shield. Great. And that's a kill against Misha. Or not. And we go with or not, but... that power slide, but the Sanctification was just magnificent. Problem is that they still fall, and the arrow, that was awesome. The cleanse allowed Mopsio to walk away, activate the trade, or Tyrael would have killed him. Nicely done. Immortal still active at the bottom of the map, but guys, nothing changed, doesn't give a fuck about the Immortal. They're just saying, you know what, we're gonna get the keep now. And we're gonna get level 20 any second. So, let's go. I actually like that decision that they just said, okay, we can sacrifice the fort at the bot lane, and instead we're gonna make the play for the top keep. And the keep is down. Keep eliminated. Bottom of the map, we have at least a bit of a defense set up as Mopsio is already in position and says like, guys, I got this. I mean, let's face it for just a second, he doesn't really because, well, not enough wave clear here with that build in particular. But is able, of course, to get some initial damage done against this. And now they can defend the keep itself, so they walk away with a positive trade after all because they got the great kills after a magnificent stage dive that even a fantastic sanctification could not negate. And there's the level 20s now. The game is by no means over, but Washed Fans is definitely having some issues, and nothing changed is looking good here. So, let's take a bit of a look also. Well, Feign Death, no surprise here. Need an entire level until they have a level 20, and their Storm Talents. 63,000 damage from Hammer, but Tracer and Chromie are both a little bit higher than that. And Chromie is actually the only hero on the blue team that hasn't died yet. Same goes for Deckard on the other side. But let's see. They're trying to get a little bit more. I mean, with the Storm Talents and the poke that they have, they can now aim to maybe take down the... Well, I don't really think they can take down the keep, but they can at least take down the wall. And if they get an opportunity to set up a good temporal loop and maybe get a kill, that would be something for sure. So they definitely have a couple of options here, especially since they are also accompanied by another camp that they can use now too. And the poke is in their favor, and so is the Storm Talent. So a great decision by Nothing Changed to go for that. As long as they're not overstaying, it's absolutely fine, and they're currently doing a fantastic job for this. Poking that down as we speak. A little bit of value at the top lane, at least for the red team, as they're getting the fort over here destroyed. Thanks to the camp that they took. Big arrow coming out. Follow up. Deckard, just a sec too late. Yeah, that would have been good for them. If they can get a kill there, it would have been fantastic. But as it stands, the Immortal is coming. So is the level 20 for the red team. Finally, they got a chance there. They have 2 forts down. And honestly, yes, the keep at the top lane, losing that is an issue, but they are still in this game. And we're talking level 20 versus 20 right now, and with that we're now also looking at the Bullseye, we're having the Ultra Capacitors, and they still have a chance to win this, especially with Hammer becoming more and more dangerous. There's the Power Slide though, immediately Deckard Cain with the play attempt, Feign Death already being used, they're going for Mopsio, Mopsio low, Indestructible actually triggered, and he is able to walk away, or is he? Oh, nearly the kill against him. Nick misses the shot. But the shield was active. Both teams still with 5 on the map here, as we are heading into this potential final battle of the game. Especially Hammer setting this up. And when you're looking at the talents, we're actually having also the bottomless flask now. So in these stalemates that we're oftentimes seeing on Battlefield of Eternity, that's actually a great talent to take, and really helps them right now to set this up and just sustain themselves through any fight. So the level 20 abilities are just phenomenal, and they're trying to put them to the test here. Mopsio is eating the damage from the Giant Killer the entire time, which helps Hazu obviously to get his damage in. Temporal Loop is in. Is there a kill? Not yet. The Lordnado misses ETC. 79,000 damage for Hazops now. But still, Tracer and Chromie a little bit better than that. Massive poke happening. Both of the Immortals still looking pretty decent. Not losing too many hit points here. They're still starting to go. Up at the top lane, another problem. There's 2 catapults, and ETC moved in to take another wave down. Eventually, someone from the red team will have to go over there in order to push the catapults down. Mops is even trying to go for an intercept at this point, making sure that nobody can go for the catapults, but there they go. Yeah, Nick comes in, has to take the catapults down, but that means they have to yield the position a little bit. That's 2 catapults with the 3rd one coming in. And obviously, there's nobody ready to defend this. Hammer problem. Oh, the kill. Hammer down. Hammer down. Nothing changed. Just dropped the hammer on the Sergeant. And with that, there is just no hope anymore. That's a crucial kill right there. Oh, but DAB is dead as well. Deckard Kane, the old man, is fighting it out with the cow. Full Diablo 2 moment that we have there. Cody Boss has to get away, and Tyrael falls. Maybe the kill. Ooh, so much damage against ETC, but not enough to lock him down. Yeah, 1 kill against 2. Nice setup now for Nothing Changed, but can they win the objective? 2 catapults pushing at the top. We're 24 minutes into the game, guys. This is a long one. This is the long one. 24 minutes in. That's all they need to know here. We are talking Winion time. They are going to shrek those shields, and they're already firing away here. But the assist is there. Halftime show 1. Hammer back in 10 seconds. Hammer back in only 10 seconds, and then we're gonna see if they can maybe pull off a little bit more here. They need a small miracle in order to win this one, but even taking down the shield alone would already be a victory for them. I can't do anything. I mean, Hanzo could throw an arrow over and hope that he hits enough and buys them some extra time, but I don't think that's happening. Yeah, Hammer being destroyed earlier was just an issue. Hasops just went the wrong path. In Germany, we call that dumm gelaufen. Literally. But outside of that, 12 kills against 7, and the game is by no means over. I mean, as it stands, that is an Immortal with a small amount of shield available, so you should be able to defend against this. Now, when I say defend against this, I mean like the core, because that keep is falling. That keep is gonna fall. This late in the game, the Immortal is an absolute monster, so with that, we are going to see him, yeah, the fort fall. That is just, it's just not helping it. I don't think there's a world in which the Immortal doesn't kill the keep. But there's a chance that the game is going to go a little bit longer. Which is a bit weird considering that we're 25 minutes in, but there is at least a chance. But of course, Nothing Changed wants to end it right now. And they definitely have an opportunity to do exactly that. I'm moving in, alright. There's the move, ETC. Porty is dead. Porty down, and that is already putting a dent into their ambitions. Sanctification is on. They're trying to burn the Immortal down. Johanna is dead too. Immortal is destroyed, and this game is still going on. 59% on the core. Nicely done. Link gets wrecked here, isolated from the rest of the team. What is this? Battlefield of Eternity. 26 minutes in and the game isn't over. Are you kidding me? I mean, seriously, we're 26 minutes into a Battlefield of Eternity game? That is insane. That is blatantly insane. Hanzo has 99,000 damage, Chromie has 112,000, Tracer sitting at 104. And they are starting to push over to the left since only 2 heroes are alive. Only 2 for Nothing left are alive right now. But there is no keep anymore for Washed France. And catapults at this point pretty much one-shotting the core. I mean, not quite, but we're getting there. And there is catapult starting to home in on the core. So at this point, feels like Washed France is going to make a move. They're at least going to get the keep. And they get the keep. Temporal loop, temporal loop, temporal loop. But they cannot lock him down. Gotta move away from this. And guys, someone needs to start to defend this. Again, we are 27 minutes in. These bad boys hurt. They hurt a lot. Just look at the shield up there. Every single shot takes that down faster. Immortals are spawning again. Ooh, and that hurts a lot. And Masquerade comes in and just destroys them in time. But that one is another one that they should take down. Honestly, they can't afford to let a single catapult get onto the core right now. They really can't afford it. They really cannot. And there's camps now taken too. I mean, Nothing Changed is going for camps on both lanes, and that's another big problem. There we go. Nick is taking care of it. Immortal is there. And this time, Washed France is much, much faster on the Immortal. They know they have to win this one. But we have a backdoor attempt. They're going for the backdoor. They're already in vision, and now they have to move back, and they immediately do that. 52% on the core. The backdoor is ready. Here comes Nothing Changed as they go for the core. Jumping in with everything they have. The shields are gone. Defense is ready, but they are burning it down. And there it is. Tracer dead, but so is the core, and that's the 1-0 lead in the best of 3 series for Nothing Changed against the Washed France. GG, and well played. Game number 2, everybody! Towers of Doom! And nothing changed, just taking the lead on the first map. Boss now on Chen for the blue team, linked on Reka. We have DAB on Liming, always a pleasure to watch that. Blickitney on Falstad, and Mopsio on ETC. On the right side of the map, down one game in the best of 3 series, Washed France with Hazops on Jaina, Nick on Hanzo, Ixia on Urel, and Banana H on Lulcio with Masquerade on Garrosh. Alright, let's see if they can pull it off now. Lucio in, so the oversized minion has another chance to prove that he's a real boy. But we'll find out. That said, on a high level, we're actually having quite a little bit of value today. And what is that? No Eye of the Tiger. Someone doesn't like Survivor, apparently. Instead, we have the secret recipe for him right here. So a little bit more sustain for him. Okay, fair enough. Let's see how much he is going to deviate away from the build that has pretty much been established in the last few weeks. I mean, there's a couple of talents where you can really just make different choices, but they're still a pretty much established meta build. Nick, on the other hand, is having trouble on Hanzo again, and Nick goes down. Boss a little bit low, so is Blickitney. Ixia wants a kill. Ixia should get a kill here. And Ixia is not getting a kill. Couldn't jump enough, and that's not enough damage. Unbelievable. Blickitney is actually getting away. Kudos to him. Well done, well played. In the meantime, Lucio is just riding around. You know why Lucio is actually so hyperactive? Like, he actually drank 3 runtime OP shots. So he's just zipping around like a madman the entire time. Can't sleep, won't sleep. That's pretty much what he should say, what the voice line should be like. And yeah, so that's actually pretty cool. And guys, if you actually watch this on YouTube, we talk about this on the Twitch stream quite a bit, but I haven't really mentioned it for YouTube at any point. So if you want to support the stream, one way that you can definitely do that is if you're going into the YouTube description and you check out Runtime. They sponsor Heroes of the Storm, they sponsor the stream. They have some absolutely amazing products, especially the Berry Energy drink is probably one of the best there. And if you take a look at the link and get something from the shop, there's even a runtime shaker now for a Khaldor runtime shaker with a 5-man team wipe. And you can support the stream here directly as well. And if you use the discount code Khaldor, you also get a 10% discount. So if you're watching this on YouTube and usually don't have time to jump into Twitch, that might be something that you want to check out there. And that's pretty much where that OP shot line comes from, because that stuff scares me, since there's a lot of caffeine and taurine in there to keep you alive and awake. And that's one of the few things that I haven't actually checked out yet. But with that said, let's focus a little bit more onto the game itself. We're having on level 4 now also the Accumulating Flame right here. Okay, a little bit of a different style, especially yesterday. We had more of a focus into the flying kick when it came to the level 4 talents from the Chen players that we've seen. Also the Hand of Freedom for Urel. Urel already checking that out. There's a little bit of a jump in the mid lane. There's a little bit of a battle against Banana H, but Lucio gets away. Pretty quick on his feet today. But obviously the first altars are now activated, and we have quite a bit of global pressure with Blickitney and Falstad, and theoretically Mopsio could also go into a stage dive later on. Shots fired, quite literally. Ixia is getting the ones on the left side, and down at the bottom of the map, that's the traditional battle over altar number 3. Lucio is trying. And, well, that's what is going to be, like, honestly, that's what probably will be on Lucio's tombstone. He tried. Brightwing doesn't even try. Brightwing is just around. But Lucio, you can actually see that with all the energy that he brings to the table, he is trying to make a difference here. The question is always, can he? Can he really? Jump against Boss. Quick rotations is definitely one of the things that Lucio can empower. And the Panda is doing what the Panda does. He is just drinking. And in this case, it's actually a Polish Panda, so there could be some Polish vodka in the keg. We already established that pretty much on the American side, an American Chen is drinking like soda the entire time. Then again, to be fair, someone mentioned also that bourbon would be a possibility for the American Chen. So I don't want to dismiss that out of hand. We all know that it's vodka for the Russian Chen and a beer for the German Chen. I guess if you are French, then it's wine. And from there on, it starts to become a little bit more complicated. But those are the things that we usually think about. Yeah. But with that, again, the focus onto the boomerang here for the extra wave clear. Big battle in the mid lane right now. And Banana Age is trying to get some extra damage in, but so far not really working out for him. Calamity obviously is now a bit, I don't want to call it game change. It kind of is, but it's definitely something that allows DAB to have more reset potential, get the kills in. So far, we have seen one single hero die. It's not really the most kill-heavy game yet, but that can change in a second, as we've seen earlier. And level 10 abilities in particular will most likely contribute to that, especially when we're having the taunt in for Garrosh. Once that he can set that up. Up to the top lane, there's a false dead taking camps now. He went into Wingman, so it's a little bit of a hybrid build since he still has hammer gains on level 4, which is a bad talent by any means for a false dead player, no matter what you pick, because you have extra lane sustain. If you feel you need that, then hey, just go for it. As long as you don't pick secret weapon on level 7, you're golden. So here comes the kill against ETC. Boss might also fall, and honestly, that kill against ETC is already a problem, but Boss dying is another one, and Lucio was helpful. He went in and got the kill. They're trying to get some counter aggression off against Masquerade, and they get the kill against Garrosh. Lucio, oh, with the boop right there. Look at him, making the big boy plays here. Damn, Banana Age. Yeah, they're all of a sudden all in the trap, guys. Blickidney, he's not gonna survive this. Main question is, can Ixa get another kill? And he can! Goes in and the mace to the face right there. Gets a couple of pings from his mates and they channel the altar. And there we have it. 28 against 36 now on the scoreboard. Nicely done. So we have level 10 abilities for Washed France. And with that we have the sound barrier. Honestly, the ult is probably one of the best aspects of Lucio. If you time that properly in a team fight, you can get mad value out of it. We have another arrow for Nick, who is playing his Hanzo again. And also the Ardent Defender. But level 10 abilities are now ready for both teams. That gives us the Mighty Gust. And as already exclaimed earlier, we are actually going to get the stage dive. Mass Globals. It's jump time, baby. On top of that, Ancestral, and the bane of any backlaner, Storm, Earth, and Fire. Oh yeah, triple panda, baby. Let's go. Arrow comes in, and Mopsio just shrugs it off. ETC is sitting there and is like, yeah, I'm not impressed. The kidney comes over and says, okay, better safe than sorry. Here's a gust for you, boys. That is not really the biggest cooldown in the game, so let's just chill a second. But Lucio is in a little bit of trouble, but Banana Age not really threatened there. Nah, he gets out. He gets out. Lucio just finds the right beat and then is off to the races. Masquerade is just throwing people around the entire game already. I mean, Garrosh does what Garrosh does best, right? So that's exactly what we're seeing from him. Double Altar is activating towards the top now. We have actually the quest complete on level 1 for Hazorps. Water Elemental for him. No Ring of Frost. So the bigger question is for me right now, when are we going to see him with the Ice Block? If he can get some damage in during the team fights, he will have that. That could be a taunt. Are they going for it? Stage dive, and Mopsio immediately says hello. Could get the slide through, but doesn't want to be too aggressive here. Urel jumps in, and the Ancestral. Safe, then sorry. Linked is playing around on Rhaegar here. One of his favorite heroes, actually. Linked kind of made a name for himself before he even joined an HCC team and did fantastic on Rhaegar. For the longest time, he was pretty much a one-trick Rhaegar player that really brought the pain and then branched out to become extremely strong on other heroes too. So while the false stat, ooh, that is a long-distance arrow and it hits DAB. Falsa was taken out at the bot lane by the 3-man rotation, but with him falling, Hazorps is ready to get the channel down here. And they're looking for additional kills. Trying to move in immediately to get a bit of a hit in. Polyballs again straight up on the keg. And up to the top. It's a trap! But that trap might backfire, baby. Ixo is already moving out. Mopsio wants it. Mopsio doesn't get it. Banana Age says like, well, if you think you can poop me out of there, I can do that too. 2 can play at that game. And they get the camp. 5 kills against 2. A bit of a different picture from game number 1 when it comes to the kills, but you look over at the corp damage and it's a different story then. It's a very different story. False by now, they have the globals. They need to play the global game. They need to play with the macro as much as they can, but up at the top, the brawl just continues. And it's Panda time, baby! Mighty Gust into the corner, boss activated, the jump and the kill potentially against Hazorps. Yep, he goes down. The Pandas are just an absolute beast. Now, I give it to Washed France that actually Lucio, if he uses the sound barrier after the Pandas come in, might be able to negate the ult to some extent, but it's just an absolute crucial play to... Oh my god, what the hell? Glass cannon on this level? Whew! TAB! What the hell, buddy? You don't see a lot of glass cannon on that level. Glass cannon is usually a little bit of a pleb talent. It's like one of those talents when someone's like, I'm the best Li Ming player in the entire world, nobody can touch me. And, well, then they usually get dragged hard if there's any coordination on the other side. On this level, you see the talent rarely taken. But, well, DAB comes in with the confidence and says, let's go for it. So let's see. Yep, and there's the kill. And Rhaegar is dead too. Both of them immediately down. So, yeah, that was an easy one, and we have a triple kill. Again, you still get that decrease on the maximum health, and that's obviously the main problem. Li Ming already, in general, just has a pretty low HP pool, and that gets reduced even more if there's a coordinated effort against you. That is a quick kill. So that was a really, really nice setup that we've seen from Washed France, and they just continue what they started early, the dominance on the kill board, and that now has given them also a leading experience. So DAB definitely has to play careful. I mean, don't get me wrong, if you are able to play properly, you get a lot of damage out there, but the most Li Ming players will still not go for it just to be on the safe side. Hazorps killed by Forset, fantastic, and Li Ming gets the combo off against Hanzo. With Urel not there, that was a problem. And how did this start? Because of the globals. ETC stage dives in, Falset flies behind them, forces the fight, because I can tell you one thing, the red team had absolutely no ambition whatsoever to go for a fight here. They wanted to poke a little bit and then they wanted to move back, but they kind of forgot about those heroics and, well, globals. We were talking Falstad, and that backfired quickly for them. So with this, we're now having, once again, a pretty nice dominant position for nothing changed. They have taken the lead in experience, which also translates into an additional talent for them. And on top of that, we are having them now with the setup where you can see, well, them sneaking in the extra bell tower at the bottom of the map. Still not a huge fan of the Giant Killer without the level 1 talent, but at least in this case, we're having the hammer gains on level 4, so he gets a bit more out of that. But typical talent here on level 7 or level 16 if you don't want to go into the cooldown reduction. So the afterburner is something that we have seen in the past, and if you just need to get out of dodge when there's a Yarosh on the other side, that kind of helps a little bit. We've seen that talent actually used a couple of times also in HGC. By no means a standard talent, don't get me wrong. But it has been used occasionally, especially against high mobility heroes on the other side when you were a little bit worried. Even exchange on 2 of the bell towers, that obviously means 5 shots fired here for the blue team. And what else are we going to get? Okay. Going for Blikitni here. DAB needs to be careful again. Dies pretty quickly if there is a coordinated effort. And this is like the biggest difference that you have in competitive in comparison to like Storm League and Quick Match. It's actually incredible how many people, especially in YouTube comments, always try to talk about their Storm League experience whenever they're watching a professional game, because they don't realize that it's literally night and day between the level of play that you see there, and they just don't get that at all. But in this case, we're having nothing changed. It's absolutely murdering. I mean, they see an opportunity and they jump in and take 3 heroes down and have now way more map control. Could easily go for the boss or another bell tower here, and they go for the channel. The margin of error that you can get away with in Storm League and Quick Match is absolutely incredible. And if you then look at a game on this level, if you make the tiniest mistakes, you are going to get punished for that. So the margin of error is much smaller. And especially for people that can't really spot that, it's oftentimes deceiving how good these players actually are. And don't get me wrong, they still make mistakes, there's still a couple of trolls around every now and then, but there is a huge difference You could literally put a couple of those ex-HGC players together, let them play against top Grandmaster players that have never been in HGC, and those guys would probably never really win a game against them. It's pretty incredible. As long as they try hard, obviously. But with that said, we have now 9 kills against 8, and this is a pretty close series. This is way closer than I expected it, honestly. Especially after the first... I mean, the first game was a 28-minute game on Battlefield of Eternity. That tells you all that you want to do. And what else are we having here? There's the push against the bell tower bot lane. They want to reclaim that. I mean, bottom bell tower is the most important one because you have access to 2 of the pumpkin camps. And if you control those, the immediate pressure against the core exists. So usually it's the bot lane that most people are focusing on, and for a good reason. Still 1.5 levels nearly ahead in experience for nothing changed. That's going to be a big one. And when you look at the core, it's 17 against 18. Guys, it's pretty much even. On the core, it's even. The bottom has been reclaimed now by Washed France, but it's all about those altars now. 2 altars for now. With the 16, also the Flying Leap came into play. And outside of that, we're having a bit more pressure topside with the 2 globals actually sitting tight here. And they're getting the camp now too. Falsat is doing that right now. And the double global play has already been a problem for the red team early on. That's a big push against that bell tower, by the way. But it's an easy channel for Nick. Or is it? No, it's not, because here comes the stage dive. Interrupts once. Ural is jumping in too, and it's a double fight for both of them. Falsat is also on the way here, even with the afterburner, but ETC is down, gets wrecked. Nicely done by Washed France. Very well done by them. Still some play up at the top now. And there's 4 shots fired. Kaboom. Good damage against the bell tower, but by no means enough to claim it. And now we have single digits on the board, 9 against 18. They are doubling the amount. They are doubling the amount right there. And with that, we're having the attack straight up against the bell tower. There we go. Bell tower down, and up at the top, there's the attack immediately. Obviously gonna try and take that. Let's try and see if they can actually make that work, but... Yo. Bot lane, with them claiming the bell tower, if they lose the one at the top, it would be a 4 versus 4, but that's not the case right there. Down at the bottom of the map, there's still the attempt to pressure this a little bit more. Level 20 abilities are in. That gives us... Ooh, actually, we're having, in this case, Death Metal plus the Wind Tunnel. Alright, Storm Shield is in as well, and Falstad is actually down. Falstad got wrecked, and that's a staggered death since ETC just came back. Up at the top lane, the bell tower barely survived. And now we're having Washed fans in a great position. And this is actually a nice interaction with Garrosh, even if you never knew that. You can actually throw pumpkins into the range. Oh, what a slide! Just getting the kill in, the Ancestral not triggering. But as mentioned, Masquerade can throw pumpkins into the range so that it translates immediately into a shot, and that's how they got it from 9 to 8 now. But that kill against ETC was actually pretty fantastic. And they have so much pressure now. It's actually insane. They have a lot of pressure here. Well, Banana H was already dancing around here. We're having Ural waiting on the other side. Guys, this is getting problematic. I mean, right now, nothing changes pretty much with the back to the wall. Over here, the fight is starting, but that's another 5 shots off the core. They will be down to 3. This is incredible. Here comes the Panda, though, and they're trying to go for the kill, but Nick gets the sound barrier and is able to move out. Shots are fired, 3 points on the core, and this is all or nothing. This is all or nothing. The arrow is good. There's the Wind Tunnel trying to go for the isolation. Doesn't get too much done. Level 20 on both sides by now, obviously. And they're chasing the dog, the self-ancestral on Rhaegar. We have the aggression again against him, but the channel is slowly coming through. They need to interrupt it, and ETC is the one to dive in with the stage dive. Ural is a little bit deep, might actually fall. Yeah, indeed she does. They're going for more kills. They get Masquerade 2 down, and they go for Lucio at least that 1-2. And Lucio with a 20 right now is looking also at that cooldown. Nice block. Ah, Jaina is dead. Jaina dead, and now momentum for the team in blue. They don't go for the altar right away, and neither should they. They immediately jump towards the top and get the bell tower. And how are they going to play this now? They can channel this, but that's only 4 shots of the opponent's core. How much more can they get? They're trying to make the play for the bottom of the map to see if they can maybe push something through there. 50,000 damage from Li Ming, 65,000 damage. Yeah, channel on the altar, and it's 14 against 3. It is dicey, ladies and gentlemen. The only hero in the game that hasn't died yet is Lucio. That's because he can run away really fast. But at least they hold all the lanes again. They actually have an advantage now with the 5, and they also go for the boss. So that's an easy 5 points, obviously. There's no one there to contest it. There's nothing to be done. But Washed France is still going to be massively ahead. That's 4 shots fired. It's not only, by the way, taking the boss, it's removing it as a tool from the map, so that there can't be a dangerous rotation towards the boss, since obviously that would end the game if it falls into the hands of Washed France. There we go. Once again, having the attack down at the bottom, getting this one done. ETC has moved towards the top side right now and is applying, or attempting to apply, a bit more pressure there too. Washed France is still ahead. The problem for them is really that they are not as far ahead as some people might think. If you lose a big team fight right now, you can lose the game very, very quickly, even if you're this far ahead on the core points. It's not out of reach. 10 points seems a lot, but if you lose control on the map at any point, it's very tough to get back into it. And already there are 5 against 3 bell towers. That's still enough for them to win the game if they just get a single channel. But we're talking about a single altar right now. And if you get wiped, for example, in the attempt to go for the objective, you can easily lose the remaining 2 bell towers, and then the game is pretty much over. So it's a huge problem for them right now. And yeah, the bot lane, they're trying to claim another bell tower, at least poke it down enough so that they have a bit of a chance there. Well, let's see, it's bell tower time. And nothing changed, can't let it go. They need to fight for this. I mean, duh. They're gonna try to pull that one off. That's the moment. This is really the moment of truth here. Let's see how many they can do. Urel is already jumping in. Nice dodge by Blakitny, using the afterburn. It's also for the position. ETC is still sitting in the mid lane. They have a slight lead in experience, which means also a stats advantage thanks to the extra level. And let's not forget... Oh, false stats! And he gets away. There's the wind tunnel. Ancestral, and Lucio is dead. Lucio is not a real boy after all. Jaina falls too. The kill against Urel. The kill against Garrosh. They are wiping them. They are absolutely destroying Washed fans right now. And that is 4 heroes down, and well, Hanzo alone is gonna have a rough time there. And just look at the minimap. 2 in the middle, 2 at the bottom. They're doing exactly what I talked about earlier. They're trying to get those bell towers as quickly as they can. Hanzo is trying to counterplay at the top so that the barrage is not going to take his team apart, but the barrage is going to start, and the channel is already there. That shots fired, maybe not quite as quickly as they wanted to, but it's 3 against 4 points. They went to the top and took down Hanzo, dove in deep for the kill, but that means that the barrage starts. They take the middle, and that's lights out. They take it. Nothing changed. Turns it around. They suicide YOLO a little bit into the death zone. 5-man team wipe. It doesn't matter. The game is over. Well played, as nothing changed. Takes a 2-0 victory in the best of 3 series against Washed France. Fantastic comeback, especially on Towers of Doom. Well played. Hey guys, thanks for watching today's video, and I hope that you enjoyed the match and the commentary. The remaining time of the video has been added to protect against spoilers caused by the length of the video itself. But please keep in mind, though, that this does not only mean more work for me, but also has a negative impact on the popularity of the videos and the channel because of YouTube's algorithms. It would be greatly appreciated if you'd consider supporting the channel and help me to continue the daily esports coverage by clicking the join button below the video or supporting me through the Patreon page linked in the video description. Thanks a lot for the support, and see you guys next time.